Good afternoon, Rambler fans. It's a pleasure to be here with Assistant Vice President and Director of Athletics, Dr. Grace Calhoun. Grace, welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to give you a brief update on Loyola Athletics and all the great stuff that we have going on as we transition from the fall sports into the winter. And Grace, this year is the beginning of a new era for Loyola Athletics. We're in our first season as a member of the Missouri Valley Conference. How do you feel the transition has gone so far with our 5 fall sports having just recently completed their season?
Leo, it's gone better than could be expected. The Missouri Valley has been so open and welcoming and gracious to us, from Commissioner Doug Elgin on down through the other 9 Valley schools, and our counterparts just really embraced Loyola from the day of our announcement, and that's really led to a very smooth and seamless transition. As you mentioned, the 5 fall sports have just wrapped up competition. We were very happy with their initial Missouri Valley Championships, led off by men's cross country with a 2nd place finish behind a 3rd place individual finish by Sam Penzenstatler. The women were 4th in their respective cross country championship. With the soccers, our women's soccer team earned a home game in the first round of the championship and ultimately fell in double overtime and penalty kicks to Drake, but great performance on their part. Men's soccer had a slower start to the season but came on strong, earned a berth into their respective tournament. And then finally women's volleyball, some ups and downs, started strong, dealt with a number of injuries, finished strong, but had some really close matches and proved they could play with anyone in the conference, and just narrowly missed out on a tiebreaker from making the tournament. So I think we felt like we did as well as we could, and showed that Loyola is going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward in the Valley.
Absolutely. As you said, Grace, to build on the fall sports, we now turn our attention to basketball this winter. The Valley has a fantastic reputation, being arguably one of the most competitive and exciting non-BCS basketball leagues out there. How excited should Loyola fans and alums be about Loyola joining such a prestigious conference?
Yeah, our fans should be really excited, Leo. No doubt that the strength of Missouri Valley basketball was one of the biggest factors in Loyola's decision to make a conference move. Obviously, Loyola has a strong and rich tradition in basketball, and we felt that the Valley really mirrors that. Looking at all the successful teams that they've had and national level competitors, it just seemed like our traditions rivaled one another, but at the same time the Valley really recognized the fact that Loyola aspires to be back on the national scene in men's and women's basketball, and that this is such a great platform in which to do so. You figure top to bottom, it is one of the strongest non-BCS basketball conferences, and if you look at the fact that Wichita State went to the Final Four and didn't even win the Valley last year, it really speaks to the level of competitiveness of those Missouri Valley teams, and we plan to be right there with them competing.
And when you talk about the strength top to bottom of the Valley in basketball, we'd be remiss if we didn't touch upon Arch Madness, which is the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Fantastic brand, another vehicle for the Valley to really reach people nationally. What does participating in that event mean for Loyola? Not only just our athletic department, but our university, to have a chance at really some national exposure and to kind of put our message out there.
Yeah, national exposure is the appropriate way to put it. The Valley, with that Arch Madness brand, unquestionably has one of the strongest conference basketball tournament brands in the country. It's 20 years in St. Louis under that Arch Madness tag. It's well attended. There's a lot of energy around it, always good competition, and getting into a true tournament where our fans can travel to St. Louis and really embrace that whole experience of being in a first-class basketball conference tournament. You know, that's something we really longed for, and get your tickets now. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing everything we can to promote it to students, to faculty, staff, to our boosters and alumni, both in Chicago, St. Louis, but nationally, to come on out for those 3-4 days and help us make it a great start to our new era.
Certainly a wonderful opportunity for students, alums, boosters alike to go down and be a part of a great atmosphere for sure. You know, we talk a lot about men's and women's basketball in the winter, but there's another winter sport at Loyola that really has been doing some great things, and they're getting ready to start their season here shortly as well. Our men's volleyball program, coming off of their first Final Four trip last year, start up on January 2nd against defending national champion Cal Irvine. There's a lot of buzz around that team this year, and with head coach Shane Davis, you know, calendar year 2014 promises to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. It will be Loyola's first ever national championship that will host this late April, early May, as we host that men's volleyball Final Four, and preseason number 7 ranked our highest preseason ranking in history, and the majority of the team from last year that went to that Final Four back and intact. We're looking forward to great things to come. It's a sport that really gets supported by our students, that our fan base gets behind, and again, just to be given that opportunity to host a national championship on Loyola's campus, that will be a truly special experience.
It absolutely will. Well, fans, alums, boosters alike, it's going to be a fantastic winter up in Rogers Park. Make sure you come out and support our teams, and I'll turn it to you, Grace, for a final goodbye.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to the Loyola University School of Communications for letting us use their phenomenal studio in downtown Chicago. Let's have a great winter, and go Ramblers.